Ready for bed? Got everything done? Got your comfy clothes on? Okay. I'm gonna tuck you in. Okay. Is that good? I'm gonna turn off the light now, okay? Let's see. Okay. What do you think about doing some visualizations tonight? Some bedtime visualizations. Okay. So first, gotta come back to our bodies. It's been a lot of things happening in this world today. A lot of exciting things. A lot of boring things. Maybe some frustrating things. Gonna think about all of them, all of the things we care about. We're not gonna throw them away. We're going to make a special box in our mind. It can be made of whatever we want. A nice big box. It can fit everything that happened today inside of it. Everything we need. Maybe even some things that happened other days that we're not quite done with yet. You got that box? Okay. So now we're going to open it. We're going to take everything that happened in the day, and maybe some of it we can fold up neatly and some of it kind of still tangled up in a knot. Whatever state it's in, we're going to put it as neatly as we can inside of the box. Okay. Then we're going to close the lid, and we're going to come back to it tomorrow. And this only works if we actually come back to it when we say we're going to come back to it. We don't forget about the box. It's a very special box. So we need to keep it in a special place and open it later. Okay. For right now, the box is closed. And everything in it is safe. We're going to put it down now so we can get ready to go to a different place, a different world than the one we were in today, a dream world. First, we need to come back to our bodies. So you're going to lie in a nice, comfortable position. Okay. We're going to feel all the parts of our bodies that we haven't been feeling. And it doesn't have to be comfortable, doesn't have to feel nice, but all of us needs to be alive for this next world. So it helps me sometimes we're going to close our eyes. You can open them whenever you need to. I'll still be here. You can hear my voice. But for this next part, we're going to close our eyes. And we're going to feel every single cell in our body. We're going to think about them moving around like a city. A city made up of little people. Tiny, tiny, so tiny that you can't see. But you can feel them if you really pay attention. From the tips of your toes to your fingers, to every part in between, to the top of your head. And they each have things that they want. They're each doing their jobs. And you're working together with them to create your experience of your body. So we can thank them, and we can let them do what they need to do. You can give them some of the control. Maybe they need to scrunch up your feet or tighten your jaw really tight before letting it go. And we don't have to force them to relax. They know when they can relax and when they need to stretch and contract and all those fun things. And it doesn't always feel good. It can feel good. But it's about that collaborative experience. Letting them have the space that they need to do their work. And it's very important because when we're in this next world, our cells are going to be here, taking care of our bodies, taking care of our brains, which are a part of our body. It's like the library, the big library in the city that stores all the data. And they're going to be organizing everything while we're off in dream world. So we need to give them permission to do their work. So right now, when we come back to our bodies, it's about saying to ourselves that they have permission to do everything that they need to do to take care of us when we sleep. And they're always doing it, regardless of whether you give them permission. But it really helps. It helps them do their work if you say, I trust you. Because they know what's good for us. We don't have to decide anything. They're healing us all the time. Regardless of what we do, they're always doing their work in our bodies. So throughout this process, the cells are going to do whatever they need to do to help our bodies work the way that they need to. Okay, now we're going to get ready to go into the next world. So, with your eyes closed, you can still see, can't you? It might be dark, but there might be some shapes, some patterns. There might be something in your field, some memories of the things that you saw when you had your eyes open that you can see. So, thinking of that, keeping that in mind, we're going to pick a part of our body that we can't see out of, like our elbow. But you might pick your knee or the back of your heel or your cheek or your shoulder or the base of your spine. And you're going to try as hard as you possibly can to see out of that part of your body and feel the difference between what that kind of seeing is like and the kind that you do with your eyes, even when they're closed. How there's the blackness, but then beyond that, there's the nothing. That when you close your eyes, it's the blackness. But in this other part of your body, there's nothing, not even blackness. We're going to feel that as hard as we can. And you'll notice that it has a feeling. If you really pay attention, it's different. But every part of our body can see this way. So now we're going to think about, say, when we touch a table. When you touch the table, you can feel the table with your hand. But imagine what it's like to be the table. Feel how it feels to be the table in your body. And how it's kind of similar to the way that you can see out of these parts of your body that don't have eyes. how where the table is, there's kind of a nothing, an absence of a feeling. But that itself has a kind of experience to it. So if we stay in this feeling of absence, the feeling of the nothing, maybe we can start to remember that that's what it was like before you were born. In this place that isn't a place, with no body, you can remember that there was a nothingness there that had a kind of experience to it. A nothing experience. It's not darkness, it's not floating, but there's a nothing there. Now, we're in this nothing place. It's not a place, but we're going to use some metaphoric language to talk about what it's like to be there in this other world. You can imagine it as having 3 dimensions, like our world. 3 spatial dimensions. And we're moving through them. And while you're moving through them, you might start to encounter some other nothings. And it might be a little scary, but we don't need to interact with them right now. They have nothing to do with us here. They're on their own work, doing their own thing. And if we get close to one, we might say, hello. But they barely notice us. They're on their own paths, just like we are. So now that we're moving around in this place, you'll notice that there's a 4th dimension that we call time. And it feels a little different than the other 3. But we can feel it. If we stay still, we're still moving somewhere in this other direction. And if you pick up or down or sideways, or back or forward, it's not quite right. It's another direction that isn't any of those things, and is also all of them at the same time. But it feels like a kind of vibration, a change, that no matter what you do, if you stay very still, you're still moving in this other direction. It's like a gentle current that we're being taken along. There's no need to be afraid of it. We're always moving in it. It's nice and calm. Right now, because we are like a little leaf in this stream, We don't have very much control over how it flows. But maybe one day, when we grow up to be real adults, can imagine being able to control the flow, making it faster or slower, or go in a different direction than it does now. So, in order to help us get there, we're going to start with the 3 dimensions that we have more ability to move in. You can pick one of them as a metaphor and imagine that that one is time, and we'll flatten space into 2. And so we live in the space one right now. We're floating around in there. And the time one can be over to our right, stretching out. And you can think of it like another plane that you can sort of reach over and touch like a fabric. And you can't exactly do everything to it. You can't get rid of it. But when you reach over and touch it, you find that it's kind of like responsive, that if you push on it, it can deform a little. It can feel almost like clay, something tactile, that when you do something, it responds. You can play with it in all sorts of different ways. This is an idea that you can take into the rest of your life too. That you'll see as you go on, when you make certain decisions, time responds and different things happen. Kind of like if I press on one part of the clay, another part of it bulges out a little. So now that we've got some sensation of time, we're gonna think about space and time being next to it. We're gonna think about folding time up, up, up towards us until it's like a paper folded in half and it can touch space on one of its edges. Notice what that feels like for them to be so close together. But you'll know this, if you paid attention in school, that 2 things that are separate can't really touch. There's always a little bit of space between them. If you zoom in really small into that space, even though they're touching, there's somewhere between them. So small. But here, we are not confined to the shape of our bodies. And we can, if we try really hard, see that there's just enough space for us to fit inside. Now, you don't have to. You can stay in the separate space and time as much as you want. But I'm going to guide you through now, whenever you're ready, that we can slip between them. And it's a very tight fit. So it might be a little scary. But we can't die here. This place between space and time we can think of as a different kind of fifth dimension. Not a fifth spatial dimension or a second temporal dimension, but a dimension all of its own kind. And in here, you might start to feel things that are a little different than you're used to. You can remember things that you didn't know you had forgotten. Something that's kind of like a face, but not exactly. Something that's looking at you. And it might be somewhere between many people and one person. Kind of like a human, but not exactly. Whoever they are, they're looking at you. And they're saying things to you. I know you can remember it, but it doesn't feel exactly like you're used to remembering things. That's okay. You don't have to try to translate it into something that your body would understand. Here, information works a little differently. But you remember that they were teaching you things that humans don't know. That you can kind of think of them like your parents before you had human parents. And you don't feel like you're different from them, but maybe younger in a different kind of way. And you can't translate exactly what they're saying into words, but I'll tell you how it comes up so you can remember it later. It's the things that come back in every form, the things that exist between the medium, that are in songs, in words, in sculptures and paintings, in all the data. There's currents, like pulses or frequencies, things that keep wanting to return. And you can think of them like sounds in the way that sounds have these pulses, or you can think of them like light in the way that light has waves, that they have a certain shape to them, like the way that winter and summer follow each other. And the shape kind of reminds you of a sine wave, like that. How if you take a circle and you send it in a direction, it creates these pulses. And it echoes all throughout your life, never getting weaker. Because they exist in this space that isn't constrained by time. And you'll remember that they sent you here to this world to exist in a body for a time. But that you know you were with something else, somewhere else, before you came here. And maybe you'll go back there again. And maybe you'll go somewhere else. But you can feel that they gave you everything that you need to be here. And that anything that you still can't remember is already here and has been showing up and will keep showing up. Okay. Sleep time now. There's saran wrap on the door. There's saran wrap on the door. The light bends clear across it now. Don't touch it anymore. It whispers when the wind is wrong. It shivers when it rains. It holds the shape of something new, the name of something strange. There's saran wrap on the door, a veil, a skin, a seam. It keeps the house from swallowing what you once saw in your dream. When you are older, you'll walk the pattern in the floor and see the hallway never ends the way it did before. There's saran wrap on the door. There's saran wrap on the door. The light bends clear across it now. Don't touch it anymore. It whispers when the wind is wrong, it shivers when it rains. It holds the shape of something new, the name of something strange. There's saran wrap on the door, a veil, a skin, a seam. It keeps the house from swallowing what you once saw in your dreams. When you are older, you'll walk the pattern in the floor and see the hallway never ends the way it did before. I love you. Sleep tight.